Hi, welcome to Tone House. Today I'm going to be walking you through the delay trick that helped me understand delay. As modern guitarists, we have a tendency to try to get some equipment that has all these bases covered. And even though the solution might seem like just buy the next pedal, if we don't have the money for it, we can't buy the pedal. But most of the time, we already have a solution to the problem. We're just not using the equipment that we have creatively to solve the problem. One effect that drives guitarists, and especially me, nuts is delay. I use up to 8 different delays per church service, and that's because our church usually plays 8 different songs per service. And that's all thanks to the Strymon timeline, and before the timeline I had the Boss DD500. But when I first started off, I was limited by the amount of options. So I had the Line 6 DL4, and that's the delay that we're going to be using today. Along with the Line 6 DL4, I'm also going to be using the Line 6 HX Stomp and the Jet Revelation for a little bit of reverb, and we will be incorporating reverb towards the end of this video. The trick is to know how to subdivide with your delay. Should be noted that I will be using tap tempo on the delay to prove my point. So let's put a metronome on Logic at 80 BPM. We're going to be focusing on 3 different subdivisions: the quarter note, the eighth note, and the dotted eighth note. If you can manage any of these 3 subdivisions, then you can manage anything. This is how you would tap the tempo for a quarter note delay. As you see, the quarter note is on time with the beat. Now let's check out the eighth note. The eighth note is double a quarter note. So there are 2 hits per beat, or in this case, 2 taps on the tap tempo per beat. Now this is the most complicated. This is the dotted eighth note. Like I said, I'm not changing the delay type. I'm not changing anything on the delay. I'm just changing how I tap the tempo. This dotted eighth note sound is usually related to the U2 sound. Now that we learned to subdivide, we should also learn when to use these delays at their appropriate time. When I was limited to just using the Line 6 DL4 with the 3 presets, mainly I would use 1 short delay, 1 long delay, and 1 really long delay. But most of the time I found myself using just the first delay to be able to manipulate and navigate everything. For example, I found that if I'm playing a fast song, I could probably tap the dotted eighth note and get a pretty fast repeat to where the delays weren't really getting on top of the rhythm, and it kept my reverb just a little bit short. If I wanted a more ambient sound, I can use the quarter note delay to kind of help me push the reverb just a little bit more. pedals, I didn't do anything to the reverb and I didn't do anything to the delay. The mix and the feedback stayed the same on both the reverb and delay, and all I did was change the subdivision that I was tapping into the delay. So just because we can't afford complex pedals doesn't mean we can't get complicated with the effects that we already have. We just have to get creative with the equipment that we have. So I encourage everybody to try this subdivision trick. Just because you don't have a crazy expensive delay with a million different presets doesn't mean you can't get a million different sounds with the equipment that you have. Have fun with your delay, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh shoot!